Assalamualaikum, uh, and welcome to the talk on introduction to Jetson Nano Installation Setup, Configuration and Deployment. This talk is prepared for International Melaka Artificial Intelligence of Things MAIoT Challenge 2021. My name is Wira Hidayat. I'm from Faculty of Electronics and Computer Engineering, Universiti Teknikal Malaysia Melaka. Before we start, I would like to welcome all the participants to join the challenge. So I'm hoping that you guys can do all your best and try to get the best out of this competition. Before we go further, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Wira Hidayat bin Muhammad Saad. I'm a senior lecturer from FKITK, Faculty of Electronics and Computer Engineering, Universiti Teknikal Malaysia Melaka. So this is our faculty located in main campus of UTEM. Faculty of Electronics and Computer Engineering started its operation in 2001 after the formation of KUTKM. And KUTKM is rebranded to Universiti Teknikal Malaysia Melaka in 2007. We are located in the main campus of Melaka. FKJ support teaching and learning in electronics, computer, and telecommunication engineering field. We have a lot of courses that we offer, from the diploma to degree in electronics, degree in computer, as well as the master program in industrial electronics, in computer, as well as the telecommunication. We also do offer master in research and PhD as well. Also in Doctor of Engineering. So this is my research group. My research group is MLST, Machine Learning and Signal Processing. So it is under SETRI Center, Center for Telecommunication Research and Innovation. So this is our vision and mission of our center. So let's get to the chase. So this is a few key takeaway of this brief introduction. Uh, by the end of the program, you will be able to understand the concept of AIoT element on product development, get to know the key feature of NVIDIA Jetson Nano Developer Kit, configuration set on how to get started on using the NVIDIA Jetson Nano Developer Kit, and then we're gonna do some testing on some of the simple application on the camera. So this is the outline. We start with the what is the introduction about AI, IoT, and the combination of these two. Then we're gonna look into some of the suitable development kit for AIoT, and then we're gonna focus on the Jetson Nano device. We're gonna look into the Jetson Nano feature, required additional item for requirement to set up the Jetson Nano, uh, and then the Jetson Nano Jetpack setup, the operating system to set up the Jetson Nano, and then we're going to test the Jetson Nano with camera. So of course, AIoT, Artificial Intelligence of Things, is actually a combination of the keyword of AI, which is artificial intelligence, and then we combine with the IoT, Internet of Things, meaning that it is making things intelligent and have ability to learn by itself, and of course with the communication is become more sense lah on to make it more people oriented, to more in term of the usability of the technology. So the IoT device use the internet to communicate, collect, and exchange information about our online activity. This is the major component of the AIoT. We start with the things or the device. Of course, you must have the things to start with, and then how it communicate or connect to the internet, and then with the internet, then saving the data in the cloud, and then those data in the cloud, we can use it to analyze it. So this is where the artificial intelligence can take part to make some of the decision making, to make the analytics part be more intelligent, and then of course the things or the device is able to be interfaced by the user. So an interaction between three components of Internet of Things. So this is more like a cycle. Whenever that the device that has been used to collect the data has been installed in everywhere, in all of the place surrounding us, is on top of human body. For example, we have a wearable device like a smartwatch, and then we have a wearable shirt, and like a smart home, we do have a lot of electronic device that have a capability that connected to the internet, or perhaps with the Bluetooth, and from that Bluetooth connected to the smartphone, from that smartphone connected to the internet. So all of those will be sent to the cloud as the data store. It will save a lot of different type of element of data, the database itself, the text, the image, the video, and so from that data itself, it doesn't really give you any kind of sense what to use it. So we need to analyze it to make it more meaningful, so that perhaps it can be used back directly by the measured data from the user. So, what is AI? The artificial intelligence, by definition, artificial intelligence is a programmable function and system that enable device to learn, reason, and process information like human. It can be divided into two types. The narrow AI, which address single task application, including playing strategic game, language translation, self-driving vehicle, and image recognition. Meaning that for the narrow AI, it's try to solve a very specific job. I think that for this challenge, most of the applicant and most of the contestant and title will be focused on the narrow AI, which is to solve certain particular part of the AI atau problems, addressing certain tasks or application. And then we do have a second part, which is artificial general intelligence, the AGI. It is referred to the future AI system that exhibit apparently intelligent behavior, at least as advanced as the person, across the full range of cognitive tasks. Meaning that it's like fully AI. It can deal with its own self-learning, and it's really like work as a real human lah. So this is a component of artificial intelligence. It must have a learning part, and then the reasoning part, problem solving, and then perception, meaning that there is a sensor to it, and then language understanding. So the element of AI, there is a lot of different element that we can say that it is an AI, which is one of most popular thing is the machine learning, and subsidiary out of that is the deep learning, and then under that we have a supervised way of learning, and then unsupervised, and we have a semi-supervised. And then other than that, other than the machine learning, we do have a evolutionary computation, expert system, speech interpretation, the robotic uh, by using vision, natural language processing, the NLP, and neural network. So I think that as long as you can try to show that your application involve either one of the element, eh, it really show that it is have an element of AI inside it. But in terms of component, it is important to have most of the component to show that you fulfill the requirement of AI as well as the requirement of NIoT, meaning that you need to make sure that you have all the AI component as well as the IoT component in your application. So in terms of suitable devices that can be used to develop uh, or for developing an AI application, or perhaps deploy the AI application, we must make sure that we are using a suitable device. So basically, as long as those device has an internet onto it, connected to the cloud and do some processing and analysis, so it is considered to be enough for the requirements of the AIoT application. But of course, it's not only limited to all the device that I show here. Perhaps you can also use a simple Arduino with the internet. Maybe your application is more on deploying the using using a fuzzy logic, for example. So those fuzzy logic is enough, simply enough by using AI, by using Arduino. If you are not involved a camera onto it, or processing a video or image. Normally the application of AI nowadays is more toward vision application. That's why it is important to have a device that are capable of processing all those images, so that it have enough capability to process those. So why NVIDIA, and why I compare this with Raspberry Pi? Because both of these device is considered low cost, but has the capabilities of processing videos and do a lot of AI and IoT application. So it is mostly recommended lah, and has been used by a lot of people in not only in the development, but as well as in the deployment phase. So as you can see, the primary feature of the Raspberry Pi 4 and NVIDIA Jetson Nano are almost similar, but there is a unique distinction. The biggest difference lies in the graphic capabilities between two boards, specifically their graphical processing unit. So NVIDIA has the GPU inside, but Raspberry Pi doesn't have a GPU inside. They only have a CPU. So what is the benefit of having a GPU for graphical processing unit? It will speed up the process of training, meaning that you can also do your training in the development kit device instead of do the training in the computer and transfer the final model inside of the device itself. So you can use everything. You can use your device to do the process from the beginning, perhaps from capturing the image, from capture or from gathering the data. From gathering the data, you can also do the like the annotation and labeling, and then after those annotation and labeling, you can do the training process, and uh, and after the training, you can do the deployment process. So everything can be done inside of the NVIDIA device uh, because of they have a GPU and it will speed up the process. So NVIDIA Jetson Nano, it has a lot of support in their website. You can look into the developer.nvidia.com/embedded computing. So inside of those, you can see that there is a lot of different type of devices under the family of Jetson Nano. So, and then they divided their device into two different categories, which is for the Jetson Developer Kit, and the second one is for Jetson Module. We're going to try to look into both of it because sometimes the development kit, the development process, we are using mostly using a different devices than when we try to deploy our final product. So this is a difference in between deployment versus development. So Jetson Developer Kit and NVIDIA Jetson Developer Kit are used by professionals to develop and test software for product based on Jetson module and by students and enthusiasts for project and learning. Each developer kit includes a non-production specification Jetson module attached to a reference carrier board with a standard hardware interface for flexible development and rapid prototyping. So this and then for the Jetson Nano Jetson module, NVIDIA Jetson brings accelerate AI performance to the edge in the power, efficient and compact form factor together with the NVIDIA Jetpack. This Jetson module opens the door for you to develop and deploy innovative products across all industries. The Jetson family of modules all use the same NVIDIA CUDA X software and support cloud-native technology like containerization and orchestration to build, deploy, and manage AI at the edge, where the Jetson customer can accelerate all the modern AI network, easily roll out new features, and leverage the same software for different product and application. So basically, this is what it tried to say is that with the developer kit, the board itself also contain some of the important input-output that has been standardly used by the industry. So they have a USB port, the display port, and everything. So with that, when you are developing those application, you don't need to think of what is the module that you need to use uh, to in order for you to communicate through the USB or through some other communication line, for example. Because of at that point you are focused on the development of your application. But if you are in the phase of development, but you are starting with the module, so you need to take care of those lah. You need to take care of how are you communicate with the USB, how are you communicate with the power supply of the thing. So it's quite a lot of job to start with. So that's why as a developer to prove our application is working, we always start with the developer kit, and once we are ready to deploy, so they also because of this board is quite big, perhaps you don't even use all of the USB port here, all of the input, the GPIO input pin here, that you might not use all of it. So that's why the there is a Jetson module for you to use so that you can only focus to fabricate the you can only focus to fabricate the PCB board that is only relate to your application. Maybe you know that your final application only use 3 or 4 pin, and then you only use like 1 or 2 USB port to communicate with perhaps a camera or the keyboard, and then so you don't need to have a final board that have every single inch of the GPIO port that been produced for the developer kit. You can reduce that and make the entire thing more smaller for you to use, and it's gonna look compact and easy to be deployed in the final application. So this is the feature technical specification of the Jetson Nano developer kit. So the one that I'm showing here is the 4 GB RAM memory type. So the GPU 128 core Maxwell, CPU is a quad core ARM A57, and then they have a micro SD storage slot, but the micro SD is not included, but you can buy it and slot into the micro SD slot. And then we have a 4K video encoder, and then we have a 4K video decoder. They have a camera slot, the MIPI CSI slot, and then have internet, the HDMI display, the USB 3.0, USB 3.0, and then a lot of GPIO, GPIO I2C, I2S. So this is all the serial communication, and this is GPIO lah, the general purpose IO that you can use with the pin. And then this is the size of the Jetson Nano developer kit, final size. So this is similar. So this is all the from the outer view of the Jetson Nano. As you can see, uh, all of this port has been listed in here lah. So before you get started, when you buy the Jetson Nano developer kit, the box itself only contain the Jetson Nano developer kit, and together with the stand that you can put your Jetson Nano on top of the box. Okay, so all of the required additional item you need to buy to make your Jetson Nano work. So the first thing that you need is actually micro SD card. Minimum is 32 GB, but of course, the bigger the better. And the UHS1 is the one that have a higher speed for now. But if let's say that there is a memory card that have a better speed capabilities, then you should consider to buy those as well. And the second one is the USB keyboard and mouse. This is more likely for the very first time. But if you know how to do the remote computing, so you can simply use your computer keyboard and mouse to control the uh, mouse and keyboard inside of the Jetson Nano. And then for computer display, the Jetson support both communication protocol, communication wire. The first one is the HDMI, and the second one is the display port. you can use either as long as it is supported by your LCD screen. And then the micro USB power supply for 5 volt 4 AOD 5.5 mm ID 2.5 mm. So this is the power supply for the Jetson Nano. So basically, if you are using a low processing application that's not utilizing too much of the power, so you can simply use a USB supply, USB power supply. You can connect to your power bank or connect to the USB plug, and then. But if you are talking about doing some the heavy processing that require a fan to cooling off your Jetson Nano, so all sort of thing. If let's say that the power supply is not enough, the the Jetson Nano will automatically shut down by itself. It won't continue the process to prevent from the device from harming the device. So and another thing is that this is the size of the plug. Based on this, the end size here for 5.5 mm ID 2.1 millimeter. Sometimes, even though the size is similar, but the power rate is not the same. It won't turn on the Jetson Nano device. So you must specifically use 5 volt 4 ampere adapter in order for you to power on the Jetson Nano if you want to use the uh, power supply. And then there is a configuration to it that you need to look into. And then Wi-Fi adapter or Ethernet cable, you can choose either. I think using Wi-Fi is more easy, and especially if you use a Wi-Fi, you try to find the Wi-Fi adapter that has the plug and play capability. So you don't need to install any kind of driver to run the Wi-Fi adapter. And the last one is the LCD monitor. Or perhaps in my case, I have a video adapter that I connect to my PC through USB and capture the image coming out of the HDMI to my video adapter. So that is also can is depend on your own configuration. So this is an example of video adapter. So it's connected to your PC USB and your output HDMI from the Jetson Nano or digital port. If you using a digital port, you need to have a video adapter with support digital port. So let's get to setup. I'm going to do some explanation, and after all of the explanation is complete, I will continue with. So you need to download the Jetpack for SD card image. Download the Jetson Nano Developer Kit SD card image and note where it was saved on the computer, often known as a Jetpack. Write the image to your micro SD card by following the instruction according to your computer operating system. So Windows or Mac OS or Linux. And for this tutorial, we're going to proceed with Windows instruction. So when you go to NVIDIA Jetson Nano website, so you simply click on to get started. So inside of the get started, they talk about a little bit about the Jetson Nano and how to set up. So So if you look into write image to the micro SD, so this is the link that you should download, and you can follow either one of the instructions. So the one that I'm following is like instruction for Windows. And then the second part is you need to format your micro SD. So there is another software, and the link to the software is there in the website. Select the drive where your SD card reader is, and then you select quick format and leave the value label blank, and click format to start formatting, and yes on the warning. So and then the third step would be write the download image into the micro SD card. So there is another software called Etcher software, and then click there is a 3-step to it. Click flash from file, choose the zip nano Jetson image you downloaded earlier, select the quick format, and then click select target and choose the SD card drive. Remember the drive letter and it's different from the PC to another, and then click flash. So we're gonna go through, you don't worry about this, we're gonna go through the tutorial together after I'm finished with the slide. So set up the first boot. So once you have complete with formatting your memory card and put up the jetpack onto your memory card, so what first you need to do is to make sure that you prepare your hardware properly. So this is optional. Unfold the paper stand and place the Jetson Nano inside of the developer kit box. So inside of the developer box that you buy, there is the paper stand that you can use to put your Jetson Nano on top of it, or perhaps if you have a more suitable place where there is no conductivity on that mat. For example, you have a mat, a rubber mat, so you can also use that as well. Set the developer kit on top of the paper stand. Insert the micro SD card with the system image already written to it into a slot on the underside of the Jetson Nano module. Make sure the jumper is pushed into the J48 power. Select the header pin if you are using 5 volt for AOD. So if you are using the power supply of 5 volt for AOD, the power jack, so you need to make sure that you select properly here the pin, the J48 power is select. Connect the Jetson Nano into your monitor. You can select to use HDMI or DisplayPort. You can connect direct to standalone monitor, or if you have a USB video adapter, as I mentioned before, you can connect to another PC and use the video capture software such as OBS Studio to view your Jetson display. So, and then of course, you simply connect all your mouse and keyboard and the Wi-Fi adapter as well. This is as I mentioned, when a green LED next to the micro USB connector will light as soon as the developer kit is power on. When you put the power onto the Jetson Nano, it will automatically power on. There is no switch to it. You can you, you can install with the switch as well, but for this case, this is it will power up by itself. So for the first time, there's a few things. The Ubuntu, the standard Ubuntu procedure, when is you turn on your device, you need to review and accept the NVIDIA Jetson software end user license agreement, select the system language, select the keyboard layout, select the time zone, and create the username and password. And of course, you need to always remember, and you can click login automatically, but from time to time, you will be asked to enter the login name and password. So make sure you keep on remember those. and then select the add partition size. So this is the final part of the first time setup. You are recommended to choose the maximum size of your memory card. So at the end, you won't really use it for anything else. And then it will continue with the QSPI process and keep the repository of the NVP model. You don't need to change anything. Your NVIDIA will automatically reboot to the Ubuntu desktop. Click the terminal icon on bottom left and restart the computer again. So two options. It's two options because it's all in the graphical user interface. You can always go to the setting and turn off, or you can simply open the terminal and type sudo reboot to restart the system. So after you restart the system, we're gonna do the setup of the Wi-Fi. You can put your adapter of your USB Wi-Fi onto the USB port of the Jetson Nano, and then there's two options too. You can either use the graphical user interface in the system setting. While the Wi-Fi is all there, you just simply click on Wi-Fi and do something there. Can simply like SSID and put up the password to your Wi-Fi, and it will automatically connect after that. Or perhaps you can also use the NMT software, NMT user interface software, by typing sudo NMT inside of the terminal. It will go through the same process, but by using a different graphical user interface. After you set up your Wi-Fi, you can try to check the internet. You can simply go to, there is a Chromium software, Chromium web browser software, and you can use the Chromium web browser software, or you can simply typing google.com in the terminal. It will return some of the value of everything that has been downloaded from the Google. So this is optional as well. Sometimes the Wi-Fi, because of the power saving mode, it keep on turn off and on from time to time. So the best is for you to enable it at all times. So you can simply type sudo iwdef wlan set power save off on the terminal, and you enter. And then of course, to make the system take effect on that, you need to reboot the system. And then before you do anything else, this is all really recommended to you to do is to run the update by running sudo apt-get update. After you complete the update, you run the sudo apt-get upgrade. So some of the old I would say old package inside of the Jetpack will be upgrade. Upgrade means they are changing from version, one version to bigger version lah. But update is more like the small update that happening in the same version of the package. After the update complete, and then of course reboot the system again to ensure that everything that you update and upgrade will take effect. So we're gonna do this. Later we're gonna do this on the video tutorial. We're gonna test the Jetson Nano with the camera. So with that, we need to look into what kind of the camera that is available. Like for me, my Jetson Nano, I bought it with the two stereo camera, two camera that become a stereo camera lah, at that point. So I can list my available video. So I have video 0 and video 1. So if I list the video 0, then it's appeared in here. So those video is here. So it means that it's well connected. And then you can type NVG capture. So this is one of the codes for you to make the UI of the camera, display of the camera to be pop up onto your screen. And of course, if you want to close the window, you can simply run the Ctrl C But if you want to run another camera, you can simply open another terminal and run the same code. Will same code. So enough with the slide. We're gonna straight away go to the video tutorial. Hi, hello, everyone. So we're gonna start with the setup for Jetson Nano. So first thing, what you need to have a memory card, the SD memory card, uh, and the second one that you should have is a memory card reader. So this is the one that I have. What I'm doing is that I'm gonna put this memory card inside of this uh, memory card reader, and then I'm gonna slot into my USB in my PC. So we're gonna do the setting up through the PC after this. So after I slot my memory card into the PC, you can see that there is a USB drive. For me, it is a USB drive E. As you can see, this is the details of my memory card. It is about 127 megabyte inside of this memory card. So before I go further, I'm gonna need to format this card before it can be used uh, for the next step. So to start with the formatting the memory card, you need this SD memory card formatter for Windows, and of course for Mac OS, for Mac OS or for Linux, there is a software for it as well. So you can go through to look into what kind of the software that is suitable for the for use to format the, if you are using a different operating system of your PC. So I'm going to click accept. So when I click accept, it will download the file. So I'm going to start the download and open it. So this is my okay, and so this is my SD card, SD card formatter. So I'm gonna install this SD card formatter. So after you double click on it, it will run the program, and you just click next and accept the term and the condition, the agreement, and then where you want to install it, and you click install. So we're gonna wait until all the installation is completed. It's it's popping up something here. You simply click yes, and then the installation is complete. Then click finish. After finish, it will launch the SD card formatter. Do you want to allow this app to make change to it? So you just click yes, and yeah. So it will pop up this is the application to format your SD card. And then so in here you make sure you choose the correct uh, drive. Just now I'm telling you my memory card is in the drive E, so I'm selecting drive E, and then I need to click on quick format. This is all mm, this is all there. and then I simply click format. Right? There will be a notification because it will erase everything that you have inside of the memory card. So you simply say yes. So it say that the formatting process is successful. So you simply click OK. So now your memory card has been formatted. So so you still they has used some kilobytes lah for memory allocation for the metadata, but the rest of the memory is still empty for you to use to put all your program inside. So after you do that, the next step would be to use a program called Flash Flawless. This is from Etcher, a Balena Etcher. So you need to download this for Windows or any other operating system that you are using. So I'm going to click download, then start the download. So it's downloading. Well, sometimes for some computers it take long, but it depends on your connectivity actually. You just chill and wait until it's completed downloading. Okay. So once the download is complete, you can open it. Yeah. So open it and then click I agree. It will continuing setup and the application will be pop up in your screen. So before you continue with the setup, you need to download this one. Inside of NVIDIA developer page, there is a page for getting started with Jetson Nano developer kit. So you need to download the Jetson Nano developer kit SD card image. So once you download, I already download previously. So after I downloading it, I'm gonna insert it into this folder. So I just go to download and compress. Okay. So this is the file. I'm gonna open it, and then the second part is selecting the target. So I need to make sure that I select the right target. So I'm gonna click this and select and start the process. Yeah. So after you click that, there will pop up this message. You simply say yes, and as you can see here, the process is starting up, and you just need to wait until it's complete. So I'm gonna so after it's complete, you can see that a lot of things are popping up because of the memory card is actually more suitable to be used for Jetson Nano. It's not for PC to look into it. That's why your Windows doesn't recognizing it. So what you need to do is to remove your memory card properly and just close all the pop-up windows. Yeah. So I'm gonna remove my memory card here. Unplug your USB. After that, you need to place this memory card inside of your Jetson Nano device. So basically, my Jetson Nano is in this black box. I do also buy this black box, and then there is a camera to it. But we may not be using this camera for this tutorial because I'm more like to setting up this how to use this Jetson Nano. Yeah, so in front of this Jetson Nano, there is a the F card for you to put in your your memory card. Basically, if you look at here, this is all the USB part, the USB and the connectivity that you can put into your Jetson Nano. So the memory card slot is actually at the back of those USB, the other side of the Jetson Nano. So you just put your memory card inside. Let me see. All right. So after you put it in, you need to push it a little bit. Uh, I'm gonna use my pen to do that. So you just need to push it a little bit until it lock in. So there is a clicking sound to it to, to to for the memory card to plug onto the card slot. So after that, then only we can give the power supply to the Jetson Nano. So for me, I'm using a USB power supply, the micro USB power supply. So you need to bear in mind on the there is a pin that you need to disconnect out of those for the uh, for using the micro USB as your power supply. Uh, Another thing that I would like to emphasize here is that I'm also using this what we call it as a HDMI video capture, the video capture device. So from the HDMI, from this HDMI, I will connect it HDMI output from the Jetson Nano. I connected it into my video capture device. If let's say you want to use a digital port also can. So from digital port you can connect to the video capture device that support the digital port. So what I'm having here is HDMI. This is for the output meaning that can connect my monitor direct to here. So I can one can be transferred to my computer, another but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna capture the things that is display inside from my Jetson Nano into my computer. So I'm gonna try to display it and record whatever things that is there in my computer. So stay tuned. So this is actually the first screen that you're gonna see whenever that you turn on your devices. Is everything is you doing it right? But before you can proceed further, this because of Jetson Nano is actually a microcomputer, it requires you to connect your mouse and your keyboard to interact interactively connect with your device. So I'm gonna plug in my Bluetooth my Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, uh, and I'm gonna try to surf through the computer. the operating system. This is actually Ubuntu version 18.04. All right. This is the first thing that you see when you turn on your NVIDIA Jetson for the first time. So it's only happened first time. For second and third time, you can always change the setting. But I'm going to click set and then I click continue. After continue, I choose English for the purpose of this tutorials. And then this is my keyboard layout. I don't change, but this is the normal keyboard layout that has been used in Malaysia. So you just click next. Then we are from Kuala Lumpur. So you choose Kuala Lumpur. Then you type your name. I'm going to click login automatically and continue. You must always remember your password because of sometimes, even though you are logging automatically, in order for you to use like the system update or if you want to download some application from the internet, you might need to download you might need to enter your password. So make sure you remember your password. So I will really recommend for you to choose the maximum value similar to this one. Uh, so after you choose the maximum, then only you continue. Alright, after it's complete, do the partition. They will ask you whether you want to delete the unused bootloader partition. You just click continue. And it will continue with the process of partitioning. Alright. After it's complete the process of partitioning, now they will ask you to select the MVP model mode. For this, what you can do is you can simply left it as a default and click continue. So it will continue with the rest of the process and restart your NVIDIA system, microcomputer system for one time. And you're going to need to do the restart or reboot process again for another one more. Alright, before we go further, we just need to make sure that our device also have an internet into it. So what I'm gonna do, I will connect my NVIDIA Jetson with the Wi-Fi adapter. That Wi-Fi adapter, try to, that Wi-Fi adapter try to connect with the Wi-Fi that I have. So this is just welcoming in the Ubuntu. So I'm gonna click no to this and next. So you can go through. So because of I don't have the internet, I cannot do that. So let's setting up the Wi-Fi first. So open the terminals, and after the terminal is open, you can type sudo and mtui. So remember your password. This is what I'm talking about. If you are not logging with the password, sometimes whenever that you use a terminal with serial code to install certain application, they will ask you for the password that you set up in the very beginning. So I'm gonna enter my password and push enter. So I'm gonna activate the connection. So I'm gonna go with the available Wi-Fi in my home. So I'll go with WH and enter the password for that connection and click enter. They'll try to connect if my password is correct. So right now the connection is established. So after the connection is established, I just need to uh, go back and quit. So right now, I already have an internet for my devices. Let me have check on it. Okay, so my Wi-Fi connection is connected. Suppose. So let me check with my Wi-Fi. Hmm, So we don't have an Internet Explorer. So let me ping the Google. By typing google.com and see. Okay, as you can see that the connection is established and the terminal is managed to ping Google. So right now we can try to turn off the power save mode to be able to get the stability. This can be right by typing alright. In order to turn off the power save mode to get more stability, I'm gonna write sudo iwtest wtest set power underscore save. Oh, so they will ask me to enter another password. So now my power save mode is turned off. So the internet connectivity will be more stable by far. And I'm gonna reboot my PC again. I mean my Jetson Nano microcomputer again. So to run updates, what you need to do after your device is reboot, turn on the terminal again. So on the terminal, you can run sudo apt-get. So it will ask you to enter the password, just enter it. And now okay, we try. All right. Now my internet is connected. So sometimes when you run with power save off after you reboot, you might find some difficulty. Or in fact, from time to time, if you come with this kind of difficulty, what you need to do is you can simply try to restart or disconnect your dongles, and or perhaps you simply power off your Jetson Nano instead of reboot. Just power it off, and then you turn it on back. Perhaps it will simply help the issues with the Wi-Fi connectivity. All right. Once you got the Wi-Fi connected, you can update your system. The update is done. So after the update process, I'm going to run the update. If you want to continue or not, you can simply say yes. By any of the camera that is supported by Jetson Nano. Uh, After you install the camera onto the Jetson Nano, you can have a look into the terminal to see the available camera that you have just installed by typing So if you see the output like this, it means that your camera is already connected. And then perhaps you want to try to capture the photo, the image. You may try to type MEIT and enter. So when you first using your camera, you need to adjust the focus of the camera to ensure that is actually uh, the focus is correct by squeezing up the lens of the camera, and when you get the sharpest image, then you can just try out the camera right now. So now you know that it is sharp enough, and of course if you have to edit, you can simply click Ctrl C to exit from the camera view.